Hi, it's Marissa, MKissa Creations. It is Friday, October 23rd. Today is Flosstube number 11 for me, and this is a channel mostly about cross stitch. I am Marissa, MKissa or MKissa Creations on Instagram, and MKissa here. And I'm going to talk to you about Flosstube, about cross stitch. I'm going to talk to you about cross stitch. I am going to show you a little bit of sewing. I'm also a quilter and I crochet, and I'm going to teach myself how to knit. So I have a little bit of yarn haul at the end, but like I said, that'll be at the end so that you can skip it if you want. Thank you for coming back to my channel if you are a returner. Thank you for joining me if you are new. I hope that you see something that you like and decide to stick around and hit that subscribe button and even that bell so you know when I've posted something new. Life is lifing right now, and it's just lifing right now. It's kind of hard. Just vote. Just vote, just vote, just vote. I would never tell anybody the way that I want them to vote or that I need them to vote, but I just really think that it's important that you exercise your right to vote, and so that the outcome of the election is taking as many people's votes into consideration as possible. And that is what really matters. It's that it is the choice of the people. And okay, so that's it for the world. Let's do cross stitch stuff, because that is probably really what you're here for, but I do like to rah go vote, and yes. All right, so I have quite a few FFOs. 3 are cross stitch projects. 1 is a pattern that is available in my shop, and 1 is a quilting project that I designed, and the pattern is available for free on my blog. So let's start. This pattern is called Things That Go Bump. It is from, I believe, the 2014 Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue, and I stitched it on a piece of Mosaic orange. It is 16 count Aida. You can do black work on Aida. There's some fun stitches, like some fun stitches on here. You guys have seen this kind of fairly recently. But I finished it into a pillow. It just has envelope fold in the back. That's my favorite way to make pillows, especially like bigger ones like this. Stuffing a bigger pillow like this is not a fun thing to do. So I typically just get a pillow form and then make an envelope fold. Not as important for a cross stitch because you're not going to really throw it in the wash if something happens to it. You're probably just going to spot clean it, but the inside can be replaced if needed. And like if you are finishing a quilted pillow, like I'll show you in a second, you can take it off and throw it in the wash if it gets dirty, and it will be just fine. I mean, this you could definitely take off and like hand wash, because a lot of people wash their pieces after they stitch them. I definitely didn't feel the need to do this with it being on orange. So hopefully you've seen my Witch Shoes cross stitch pattern, which is right there, and it's available in my Etsy shop. But long before I did my Witch Shoes cross stitch pattern, I did a Witch Shoes quilt pattern. So this is that. And I finished it the same way. This is a American paper piecing pattern. So you like print it out and you sew all the fabric onto the paper, and then you like rip it all off later. So I can show you what the back looks like. So I've already ripped all of the, well, most of the paper off. There's this like little thing. If you've done American paper piecing, you know that there's just gonna be some pieces of paper inside of your quilt or on your quilt block. But so like the back looks like this. The inside, I didn't trim threads, but let me see if I can show you some of the like itty bitties. So like sometimes the paper is just like hard to get out. If you're like really adamant about it, you can use tweezers and they come out like that. So an envelope style pillow, it's kind of like the shams that you have on your bed. That's usually an envelope closure on the back. And so you just make that for your little pillow. And if you decide to make one yourself and kind of try to figure out how to do it, I'm sure there's some tutorials online. And if anybody's interested, I can do one. But just make your pieces longer than you think, because this little like just the way that it fits when you put the pillow in, it makes it kind of pop up a little bit, and so you don't want your pillow form showing in the back. So that was another finish that I had. So I designed that quilt pattern like years ago, and I literally moved that quilt block just as a quilt block from the West Coast to the East Coast, and hadn't done anything with it. And it was like, I was finishing that other pillow and I had pillow forms around, and so I was, let's do this. So now I have two really cute and bright and fun Halloween pillows, and they coordinate, sort of. Boop. Another Halloween finish was things that go bump. So I finished this in 2017. This was another like hanging out at the house doing nothing but sitting in a box. And I don't know if you can see on the camera, so I had like only stitched the very top of this ghost's head for like a long time, and it was sitting in like a box of like, oh, I started that forever ago, and like during probably a mania or a bunch of like start all the things time. And so the top of that ghost is Blanc, and then everything else is B5200, and you can only see it in some lights, and I don't care that much. And then this is just it's on, I think it's a 14 count Ada, so it's not anything like, it's nice and stiff, so I didn't even have to put anything inside here other than batting, and then I just kept smushing it down with my iron. And then the back is this cute little Halloween print that I had laying around. And Lady Dot Creates chenille trim. Actually, I take it back. So the top of this ghost is B5200, everything else is Blanc. Looking at it now. But yeah, you can tell, but whatever. If you're gonna judge me on my cross stitch pieces, please don't come to my house. The last piece that I finished was a new pattern for my shop, and I got really excited about Christmas, and so I just started stitching Christmas ornaments. I have at least two more Christmas ornaments that'll hopefully come out before Christmas. I know for sure one will be out in the next 2 weeks, and then I don't know when the third one will come. But this is the first one that I did. It's called Tropical Holiday. It's just a little palm tree island with some presents under it. There's some little ornaments or lights in the tree. And the back is like a little basket weave. And then this is Lady Dot Creates pom-pom trim. So if you're feeling the need to feel warm at Christmas time, this is perfect. If you have someone that loves the tropics, that loves just being somewhere warm and sunny, it's a cute little ornament. And this is stitched on 32 count Calypso from Picture This Plus, so it's really bright, But you could stitch this on white, you could even stitch it on black. Although you might want to lighten up the palm tree if you decide to do that. But, and then the presents are all like just really bright, fun colors. I love it. It's going on our tree this year. And then, okay, so that's it for FFOs. I mean, that's it. That's like 4 FFOs. I feel like that's pretty good. It has been a little while since I filmed, but I don't know. I needed to get stuff done. All right, whips. Whips are, okay, FFOs, sorry, going back. FFOs are fully finished objects. So all those like finishes that you have that are laying around, once you put them in a frame or sew them into a pillow or make them into an ornament, then they're an FFO. They're fully finished. You don't have to do anything else with them except display them. Find somewhere cute to do that in your house. So, whips. Whips, whips, whips. My first whip is Our Lasting Friendship. So our little small group of main stitchers, we are doing this as a sort of a round robin. We started last year. No, we started at the beginning of this year. I think maybe in February was when we started. We were doing a really good job. We were passing it around every month. And then COVID happened and we couldn't meet up like we could in the before times. And so they kind of went on hold and everyone was just sort of sitting on theirs. And then we had someone drop out. So now it's a little bit confusing, but I have 2 right now. I'm finished with one of them. It needs to go on. So I'm going to show you that one. The other one's actually the same because these 2 stitchers are pass them around with the called for fabric and the called for flosses. Whereas I think everybody else in our group has done either chosen their own flosses, chosen different fabric, or both. Mine, which if you watch Helen D's video, I don't know if it was her last video or 2 videos ago. So she has mine right now. East Coast Crafter on Instagram, Helen D on YouTube. So she showed mine. Mine's on the called for fabric, but I did a color and cotton conversion and just kind of went with some other colors. They're not really similar to the colors in the sampler. So this sampler, I feel like it's one of those ones where like the flosses have changed a little bit since it actually got printed, although I don't, okay, so this is a 2018 book. Nope, 2019. Although it was stitched in 2018 because that's the date that's on the sampler. And the sampler on the back, like the colors look pretty different from each other. But, so this is Penny's, who owns the Daily Stitcher. If you need fabric or floss, she actually gets stuff out really, really quickly. But, so this is hers, and it's in all the called for, so it's Legacy, Linen, and then the called for Gas and Classic Colorworks. Classic Colorworks. So what we all did on our own is that we stitched this like inner border and then passed it. Like we all had got this inside done with the words. Penny also did the outside border. So I feel like hers looks like more of like a whole project aspect of it than some of the other ones do at this time. But it's really pretty, but a lot of the colors like really are similar to each other. But it does definitely, like in the called fors, give that feeling of like if you get an antique sampler, that's what they look like. Like you can't necessarily tell what different colors were until like you flip it over. And even like I have an antique sampler that I'm working on right now recharting, and even looking at the back, like it's just faded and it looks like a lot of it looks like really similar colors unless I have like my magnifying glass on it, and then I can see like where the other colors are. but even the back is hard to see. So like this definitely has like that feel with the called fors. It's Blackbird Designs, and we are all passing it around. And now Pam and Steph's Just Keep Stitching, their like little group is doing that stitch as well, and doing the same kind of thing where they all pass it around. We did also have to modify the middle of ours because there was one more set of initials that needed to be included, or two more sets of initials that need to be included, but we weren't fancy. We just were like, here, everyone just kind of figure it out. So that part will be interesting. I know Steph like recharted her whole like inside thing, but ours is fun. Everybody's initials are in different places on almost everybody's. Like I know the first like 3 that I did, I put my initials in the same spot. Also though, kind of a big bummer, it comes with an alphabet in it for like to fill in these, right? So it comes with an alphabet to put your letters in there. Well, so my initials are MN, and the alphabet that they gave, those initials are too big for any of the little cartouches. So even if I would have magically been able to get the same spot on everybody's sampler, which if I figured out that my initials fit in one of them, I might have been like, nobody else stitch there, I have to stitch there. But I just changed it, and so my initials on everybody's stitch are not like in the charted stitch because they don't fit. Those like any other letter combination that you have maybe might fit. I don't think anybody else in our group had that problem. Actually, I think Helen might have, because I think the H and the D are both kind of big too. I don't know. I feel like that's really weird. If you're going to chart an alphabet to go in a specific shaped spot, like make it fit. Anyways, I have big giant initials. I'm not complaining. I just don't understand. That's all. Okay. I'm gonna do a pause before I do the rest of my whips because sometimes my camera turns off and then that's all. Okay, might be a weird little blip right there, and if there is, I'm sorry. My camera will only record for 30 minutes at a time, and I always try to find a spot where it's not gonna like bug if I pause and then start again. Also might take all that out. Who knows? Because you don't really need to know why I do that. My hair is getting really long again, so it's like one of those like, I'm just gonna touch. You don't care. You don't care. Or it might bug you. Or maybe that crazy hair commenter will come back. Do you guys remember that? Is he still around? There was somebody that used to always make really weird comments on Flosstube videos about people's hair. Like ones that borderline made you uncomfortable. I actually really hope that that person's not around anymore. Okay. We were doing whips. I showed you our everlasting friendship. I've also put some more stitches into Mini Which Way, which I will show you what it looks like. So that is the pattern. Let's see if I take my face out. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artist is Molly Harrison, I believe. I can't read it. So I actually have put over 1,000 stitches into it since I showed it last to you. I'm past the 5.5% mark. I don't think I've quite made it to 6% yet. I haven't worked on it this week, so I haven't really picked up my pattern keeper to look. But it's cool, like I'm starting to see, like this is her hat, and there's like a little crescent moon hanging off the back of it. So I can start to see stuff, and so that is making it more exciting to work on. And I don't know, Hade's, I have like a love-hate relationship with my Hade. I think I talk about it a lot when I'm doing this. It's just like you can't always see a ton of progress, but then all of a sudden like you see a lot of progress, and it's motivating, but then it's also like there's so much left. So you, I don't know, dive back into another project. I don't know. Okay, the other thing that I've put some time into is The Mermaid of Salem Bay by The Primitive Hair. So I am doing this in the called for colors on the called for fabric. It's a 30 count printed fabric. I did move my mermaid down a little bit because I am not going to be stitching the words. I'm just going to stitch the mermaid and have her there with the ship. So I think I moved her down like 12 stitches or something like that. Oh, here is where she's at. So I have the bulk of the bottom of her tail done, which is exciting, and felt like it took a really long time. But the other people that I know that have stitched this have said sort of like after you get that bulk of her tail done, then she goes fairly quickly. So I'm hoping that that is also true for me, but also I don't know if I'm going to keep stitching on her or not yet. And then my other whip, which I said I was going to focus on to a finish. So that finish is like probably not going to happen this year, but I have been working on it. I have been trying to get stuff done on it. I have been putting time into it. It's coming along. I am officially past the halfway point now, so that's exciting. And what I'm talking about is Ocean ABCs. Sorry if you can hear my toddlers fighting upstairs. Their dad is up there to play referee, but sometimes they're screaming. They're 21 months apart, so they love each other and hate each other at the same time. All right, so oh, I have to like lean back now instead of scooting forward to get all in the picture. So the lighthouse now, all the X's are done, and then I'm gonna backstitch that tonight. So I will have one of my fun before and after backstitch posts on Instagram, hopefully tomorrow, but we'll see. Might not be for a couple days, but it's, oh, this was big. It was so big. Like, not in like the grand scheme of cross stitch, it's not that big, but like on this chart, it was like a giant chunk. But look how cool. It's one of those ones where you like look at it up close and it's like, it's a full-on Monet. It's a big old mess. But if you take a step back, like the shading on it is really neat, and it's gonna look amazing once I put the back stitching in also. Because that pattern, every time I put backstitch to do it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so worth it. I hate I like dislike it for a minute, but then it's so worth it. And it's also, I ironed today, so it's not, I mean, it's not wrinkly at all, but it's got, so I think it's a lot flatter than you've probably seen it before. And usually when I post updates of it, I just post like the block that I'm working on my Instagram, so you don't get to see it. Other than that, I did have a finish. So I finished Hands-On Designs, Oh Say Can You See. I stitched this on, I think it's 28 count linen. It could be 32. It could actually be 30. I don't know. It's a scrap that I had that was given to me, and it just seemed right. And then, so this pattern was a Pass the Stash from Michelle Garrett, and so she finished it 7/7/19. I'm a slacker, so I finished it 10/21/20. So this little card is in it. And now it will go to one of you. So I'm going to show it to you. And then if you want to stitch it, please let me know in the comments by saying, I would like to stitch Oh Say Can You See? Giveaway rules apply. Like, please be over 18. Please know that this pattern's now been through 2 people, and I'm not super kind on my patterns. It is the pattern has both the pillow and the drum like style for it. And don't say giveaway in the comments, because I will delete your comment. This is a Pass the Stash. It's a hand-me-down pattern that's gone through a couple other people, and so now it will go to somebody else. I did not use any of the called for colors. I grabbed my big ring of color and cottons that I have from being in the Floss Club and getting some of her boxes that she did, which I know she's busy, but I wish she would do those again. They were fun. There's been a lot of ums today. I'm sorry. I usually try to be better about that, but apparently it's not happening. All right, so I just grabbed as I went. This is actually a Gast. Other than that, they're all color and cotton. The one thing that I will tell you about if you're stitching this is that the seaweed is a different color, like the stem and like the beginning, and then like the top 2 stitches on every little thing are a different color. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I am not starting and ending floss that much for this teeny tiny pattern. Also, no. Also, I'm not carrying floss across the back of this pattern to do that. So I just found a green that was like variegated enough to give me sort of the feel of that without actually having to do it. And then also, I kind of made a boo-boo, but I'm just going with it. So there's supposed to be smearing acrosses up in here, which I decided not to do, like in the wave. But these are supposed to be smearing acrosses as well, and I don't even know if you can see them. But I did them as Algerian eyelets. And I'm okay with it, because they sort of, let's see, can you see them? Yep. They kind of look like bubbles instead of, I don't know, big giant. I think they're supposed to be like bigger bubbles than these single cross bubbles. But they still look like big bubbles. And I wasn't about to pull out, how many is that? 8 Algerian eyelets that I did, because I can't read directions. They look just fine. And they are super cool. So, that's my giveaway, or my Pass the Stash. Please tell me you would like to stitch Oh Say Can You See? C-S-E-A, not S-E-E. And then my teeny tiny bit of haul that's not really teeny tiny. I scored my friend Shannon's Supernatural Yarns last 12-day Harry Potter Advent calendar. So Hogsmeade 2020 Yarn Advent. But she sent it already, you guys. So, and it's, look how cutely it's wrapped. How am I not supposed to open this? Okay, so this is how I'm not supposed to open this. I need to knit myself a cowl from another yarn that she dyed me a long, long time ago that I have had sitting in my stash for forever. So that is what I'm gonna do. And then when I finish that, if I still want to open this before December 1st, or start opening it before December 1st, I might just do like an early Advent. But I also don't want to be like spoilery for anybody else. But I am so stinking excited. This is my first crafty Advent, and the fact that it's from somebody that I've known for like almost 20 years is amazing. Oh my God, Shannon, we've known each other for like 20 years. 20? No, maybe not. Maybe like 15. Nope. More than that, like 18. I don't know. We've known each other for a really long time. We've been on Live Journal. But also, I got to meet her in person when we drove out here because we went to Hamilton, Missouri together. And I got to go to Missouri Star Quilt Shops, which was like the greatest thing ever. Which I still have now like 2 quilts that I need to make from that trip. That's why I haven't been buying cross stitch patterns. And I've just been designing what I need and stitching what I have. I'm sorry if that makes my Flosstube videos boring. I don't think that it does though. I think it's exciting to see progress on things. Right? Right? I think it is. I'm doing this for me. If you like it, that's just a bonus. Main thing. Do I have a main thing? I don't know what my main thing is. Our leaves were gorgeous this year. Our tree in front, so last year, the tree in front of our house, we had a really big windstorm, like right when everything started turning last year, and it knocked down everything. I think it was a windy and rainy storm, and it knocked down everything. And so we didn't really, it was our first fall in this house, and we didn't really get to see what this tree in our front yard did. This tree in our front yard is gorgeous. It's one of those ones that turns that like bright neon orange. Oh my God, it was so pretty. But now there's leaves all over our front yard. I like didn't grow up having to like rake and do like leaf disposal and burning. So what we do is we do half of our leaves go under the lawnmower and get saved to use as browns for our compost, like the dried ones, over the winter time. And then the rest of them go to the leaf place. You have to bring them there. We need a truck. Oh, these poor California kids are trying to navigate Maine. It's interesting. We constantly laugh at ourselves. Like, what do we do? We sort of just like pay a lot of attention to what our neighbors do, and then we just do those things. Like, that was how I learned how to shovel the driveway. I like watched the neighbors across the street like out the curtains. And I was like, how are you doing that? What's your technique? Because like the neighbors on both sides of us have snow blowers, and when we've had like really gnarly snow, like when it comes down really fast and then it's like you didn't have a chance to shovel in between and you're just looking at your driveway like I'm just never gonna leave the house again, it's fine. They've both come over on separate occasions and snowblowed our driveway for us, which was absolutely amazing. But like the little, no, it's not little, but like I've woken up, so sometimes you have to wake up in the middle of the night just so you can like make sure that you're not going to be like dying shoveling in the morning. And also because the plow like plows everything up against the driveway, and that stuff gets hard, and then if you drive over it, it's even worse. And so it's like you do bad thing upon a bad thing upon a bad thing, because sometimes you can just be like really annoyed and be like, I have to go to work and drive over it. That's not a good option. So anyways, I learned how to shovel the driveway by watching the neighbors across the street. So we learned how to do a lot of things by watching our neighbors and seeing what they do, because everybody else that lives on our street has lived here for a while. So that's how California kids learn how to live in Maine. I think that's it. If you've stuck around this long, thank you so much. I hope to be back sooner rather than later, but we all know how that goes. Please go out and vote. Please exercise your right and know that your vote does count. What you do say matters. Hopefully it goes in the right direction, and the person who wins the popular vote also wins the Electoral College. Fingers crossed. That's all I have for you. I think you're all fantastic. Thank you everybody for continuing to make videos. You keep me sane during all of this. Thank you to my Stitchy group. I would be a really sad person without you. All of you. I am so grateful for the people that I have and the people who I get to join live stitch-ins with, my mainers, and there's quite a few just New Englanders that I stitch with as well. And just thank you all. If you have an opportunity to stitch with some people on Zoom or Google Meets or whatever, take it. It's the best. It's the best we can get right now without having retreats and things like that. So take it, run with it, join it. You can just sit there and listen. And then when you finally feel like talking, talk. If you don't ever feel like talking, don't. Stitch. You'll just feel better being with your people. And we are your people. Stitchers are each other's people. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Bye.